I'm Christopher Mitz, or Chris Mitz. I've been teaching at Vineyard Academy for I think this is my third year, so it's actually only my third year at Windsor High School. So my background's kind of weird. Most people don't go through this direction, but I started off as a marine biology major, but while going to college, I was teaching scuba diving at high schools as a PE course. So that was my first introduction to working with high school students in the educational arena. A few years into my college experience, I realized marine biology wasn't the thing for me. Just sort of had a change of heart and had to do a little bit of soul searching to figure out, what's the right direction for me. So I ended up pursuing a history degree and decided to go into teaching from there. History to me it's kind of a cool topic. I mean, I think a lot of people think about the whole names and dates thing, and hopefully we're getting away from that as far as our study of history. But for me, the whole thing is understanding causality, right? What's the cause and effect? Are there any parallels to modern times? Can we use it to actually make some predictions about future events? What's society doing? To me, there's so many cool features to it and lessons to be learned that are far more engaging than who did what and when. As far as arriving in Vineyard, I actually didn't choose Vineyard, they chose me. I'd mentioned before, I applied for a teaching job late in the year. I have no idea how many teachers or prospective teachers applied for the job, so I went through the interview process. So there's something cool about being chosen. Landing in Vineyard ended up being an awesome fit for me. In the course of becoming a teacher, I worked in the private sector for probably 10 or 11 years, so I have a lot of business experience. I love following economics and the practical side of it, so landing in Vineyard almost just seemed like the perfect setup. We used to do a senior retreat, so almost all the seniors would end up going away to mountains for a couple days with teachers, and it was one of those moments where I think you got to be more real with students. You got to talk about mistakes and decisions and successes, and all of a sudden it made you feel like you're more than just their history teacher or more than just their English teacher. Definitely had some awesome connections. But I think the ones that stick with me the most are what happens after my students graduate. And all of a sudden, I get an invitation to their college graduation, or I get an invitation to their wedding. And it's that kind of moment that makes you realize, maybe I was more than just a person who was in their life for a year. And you got to go okay, wait a second, okay, that's why I love teaching. That's why I love the connections with students.